engines, the rush in the race, the ultimate lead, where the fast find their place, a symphony of speed, on asphalted track, with every curve sharp, no turning back. Bumper to bumper, the rivals align. Each moment a challenge, each second divine. The scent of burnt rubber, the hum of the gears, the thrill of the...
Well, it is here. It has finally arrived. Welcome to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, and what we have all been waiting for what seems forever is the start of the new Sunday season. I'm with the League 3 guys, and as you can see, looking at the cars out there, we are in the Suzuki Swift, the Group 4 Suzuki Swift, a fantastic little car. Tricky to handle in times and on some tracks, but nevertheless a fantastic car. So I'm after expecting some outstanding racing. Now, most of the guys on the track I will know. There are a couple I don't, but we will get to know them. Okay, so new season, new year, happy new year to everybody. We have 10 rounds ahead of us, 19 races. Now, 9 rounds will consist of 2 races, around 25 minutes, but that's going to be converted into laps, and as you can see with this first race is 17 laps. So we've got 9 rounds with 2 races, and then the final round of the season is going to be an endurance race at well, a surprise track. I haven't got that track in front of me yet. So yeah, some fantastic racing ahead of us. I'm not going to get too involved in all the rules and tyres and all that nonsense just up to now. What we will do, though, is we are going to go and have a bit of a walk down the grid. I won't do this all the time, but as this is race 1 of the brand new season, we're going to have a walk down the grid, and we're going to check out some of the livery, which the guys have done a brilliant job on, I must admit. Now, the guys have been out there, they've done 10 minutes of qualifying, and this is how they stack up. So in pole position is Bazza, and I'm not going to claim to know all of the livery. Some of it is BTCC, some of it is supercars, I think, V12s or whatever it is. Some of them are going to be NASCAR. So we're just going to get a look at them. I'm not going to claim I know them all, but that's Bazza on pole position. You would have seen in the intro the guys in the cars as well, but this is just getting a bit of a closer look. Frowny, he's in second. Now, I do know that is Iron Fist, and I believe that's from the Le Mans, and the only reason I do know that is because I did it. So that's Frowny in second. Then we've got third, which is Scott, and that's Bazza's teammate. So 2 teammates in the top 3. That's a great start for those guys, isn't it? So that's Scott in P3. In P4 we've got Sunes. And now, is that the livery? I'm not sure if that is the actual livery. I don't know. Don't think it is. But we shall see as the races progress. 5th is Viking. And now that is NASCAR. I'm pretty sure that's NASCAR with all of the bits and the garish colours. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? And that's number 34, and that is Viking, and he is 5th on the grid. 6th on the grid is Enzo Jack, and that is a take on the Martini livery, looking splendid. So that's Enzo Jack in 6th. As we go up the hill, in 7th, we've got Phaser in the Liqui Moly. Again, looking fantastic is Phaser, and he's 7th on the grid. 8th on the grid, well, it must be. There is well, I've forgotten who it was now. Is it Sunes? So this is Aussie Rooster, so that's obviously their livery, so I was wrong. I think the shiny chrome looking is to try and put everybody else off in the sunshine, but looking great is Aussie Rooster. 9th on the grid is Wayne G. Unusual to see him all the way down there. I'm expecting great things from Wayne G this season. Is that Mild 7 livery? I think that's what it's called. I know it's written all over it, but I don't know if that's what it's called. But looking good nevertheless. So that's Wayne G in 9th. 10th is Harry Poppins. And also thanks to Harry Poppins for sharing these replays as well. He's in the Martini livery as well. So looking good there. I love the bit on the front there. It already looks like it's been in an accident, doesn't it? But that's Harry Poppins in 10th. 11th on the grid is Pete. No, we've not seen that one before, have we? So that's Pete in 11th. Looking pretty good, actually. Loving that. 12th is Molepiece in the first of the Red Bulls. 177 is Pete. Molepiece. 13th is his partner Max. Just behind him on the grid. Number 57, Max, there we go, and there he is in there. Give us a wave, Max, come on. No, he's full of concentration, doesn't want to give us a wave. Don't blame him. And then we've got DB down in 14th. Well, that looks like we've already seen that. So I don't know, there may be a mix-up of liveries. We shall see, we shall see. So 14 on the grid with 2 missing. I'll find out who they are a little bit later. So that's the grid lineup for race 1 of 2. We are at Brands Hatch. 3.9 miles, 9 turns ahead of us. We're down in Kent in the UK. So we'll get this race underway, shall we? And then we can go through rules, etc. You don't want to listen to me waffling on, do you? About rules. So let's get this race underway, shall we? And ask Bazza to take us towards turn 1, which is Paddock Hill. Bit of a tricky turn, turn 1. It's a sweeping right-hander. The apex is blind until you're actually on it, and also there's a little bit of a camber in the road as well. If you drift too far to the left, you're out there building sandcastles. So hopefully it's just everybody just takes their time and gets this through this up the hill, then towards Druids, the tight right-hand hairpin. Bit of jostling for spaces. Now I'm expecting some fantastic racing from these little Suzuki Swifts this season. They are brilliant little cars to drive, and I'm sure there are going to be some amazing battles taking place as well. But out in front at the minute is Bazza. Now they're all going to be on soft tyres for race 1. There is no scheduled pit stops in race 1. It is just an out-and-out sprint, 17 laps. Get round as fast as you can, and that's pretty much it as far as the rules go. As I just seen somebody go very wide down. I think it might have been Enzo Jack actually, but he's back on track, and everybody's still facing the right way as we come towards, well, the midpoint, maybe just over halfway of round 1. Bazza's still leading. Let's go up to the top. Bazza's still leading. He is coming under attack from Frowney. Let's jump on board with Frowney as we go into the final turn, which is Clark Curve. With turn 9, Bazza seemed to drift out wide there, but managed to bring it back on track. We've got Scott just sitting behind us as Frowney has a look at the inside of Bazza as they go towards turn 1. Is he going to back out, or is he going to go for it? No, he just backs out at the last minute. Takes that tighter line though, and I think it was, Bazza just went a little bit too wide. I think he tried to give a bit of space to Frowney. Fantastic move from Frowney. And I think it just may have unnerved Bazza a little bit in these early opening laps. And Bazza went off, but he recovered quickly and has managed to get back in third. His teammate Scott has gone through to second, so Bazza drops down now to P3. Let's just go down the order and see what's happening further down. So Souness in fourth. He's trying to take P3 away from Bazza as he goes side by side. We've got Viking just sitting behind them as well. No room for him at the minute. So let's jump on board with Viking. He's got no room at all. He's just going to have to sit and wait for these two to fight it out. Hopefully one of them's going to make a mistake, as Bazza kicked up a lot of dirt there. As we go down through Pilgrim's Drop and Dingle Dell. Now the Viking has seen an opportunity on the inside. Oh, side by side through there. Fantastic racing. I'm going to go back and have a look at this because it's not the widest of tracks, and you can see we've got Souness and Bazza fighting it out just up ahead as we go down through Pilgrims. Souness and Bazza gets himself onto the gravel but back on track. Viking sees the opportunity, goes up the inside of Souness. Souness is just not giving him that place back and ends up on the grass and the gravel and the grass and back onto the track. That was a fantastic bit of car control, to be fair, from Souness. He could have easily lost control there and spun out all over the place, but he's back on the tarmac and still racing in 5th position, so well done to him. Great move from Viking. He's moved up into P3. It's definitely elbows out in this league, and you're jostling for position. There's no gentlemanly conduct going on here. It is I'm having that place and that's it, and that's what racing's all about. There was nothing wrong with it, or not that I could see anyway. So well done to Viking. Bazza now down into 4th. Then we've got Souness and Aussie Rooster in 5th and 6th. Aussie Rooster there in 6th. Then we've got Enzo Jack in the Martini Swift in 7th. He's got Wayne G just behind him, and then just behind Wayne G we've got Phaser. We've got Hairy Poppins. Pete is there as well. As I've mentioned already, I just want to say thanks to Mark, to Hairy Poppins, for sharing these replays as he goes side by side with Phaser. They're still side by side. Oh, Phaser just has to drop in behind Hairy Poppins as Hairy Poppins moves through into P9, and this car is literally just wide enough to go too wide, to abreast in some of these parts, but it is such a tricky track. Got Hairy Poppins in 9th, Phaser in 10th. Then we've got Pete, Molepiece, DB and Max bringing up the rear, but everybody is still very close. There is a slight gap opening up at the front. Scott back up into P1 with Frowny in 2nd, Viking Daddy in 3rd. Now a little bit of a gap opening up between Frowny and Viking, but not much. It is just a couple of 3 car lengths gap. So Viking Daddy will be doing everything. I'm calling Viking Daddy, it is Viking, sorry. I'm not used to calling him Viking Daddy. But Viking really is, he's trying to push and close that gap. He doesn't want to let those front 2 get away from him. As that Swift looking a bit twitchy as we go through. I forget where we go through there, but we're onto the Cooper Straight anyway. So my map's upside down and sideways, and I can't read it, so I'm just trying to read it what I can. So Viking Daddy, yeah, looking a little bit twitchy there, Viking Daddy. I'm not sure if that's lag or what it is, but he's still going strong in P3. Like I say, just doesn't want to let the front 2 get away from him. Scott, he's not being given any breathing space at all, is he? Frowny is all over him. I'll just jump on board with Scott for now, and if we look in the mirror, that is what we are looking at, and it is the front end of Frowny's Iron Fist Swift, and he is all over him as Frowny takes a big chunk of that corner through turn 9, Clark Curve. Now they're approaching turn 1, which is Paddock Hill. Now this is right hand, a bit of a camber, then you go downhill, nick as much as you can on the left, brake just around the bridge there to get into this hairpin at Druids. Back on the power, down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. Scott just managing to keep Frowny at bay. Use as much as you can on the right hand side there, and then it is up and on to Cooper Straight, and then Frowny really is putting on the pressure as it is foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal. Down the hill we go towards Surtees. Still Scott leading from Frowny through Pilgrim's Drop into Hawthorns. It's turn 6. It's a very tricky turn. You want to take what you can on the right and then get on the power early, but as we've just saw there from Scott, it does push you left, and then it's up through Dingle Dell and Sheen Curve onto Sterling's then this short bit of straight, which is the clearways, which leads you up towards Clark Curve, which is the 9th and final turn, and you can just see the pit entry on the right hand side as we go by, so that's what the guys will be looking for in race 2, and then across the line to start lap 6. So that was a lap with Scott, and it's the fastest lap as well, a 1:29.7 for him. Now the gap is opened up. Viking has gone through into second, so while we were following Scott, something's obviously happened to Frowney. He's now dropped down to 4th, and he's picked up a half-second penalty, so that's not going to help his cause. So let's just have a look. Viking in second. Again, he just doesn't want to let Scott get too far away. We've got Souness moved up into 3rd. Frowney is in 4th, but carrying that penalty. He's got Bazza all over the back of him, and I'm sure Bazza is going to take full advantage of Frowney's penalty and push up into P4 when Frowney has to serve it. Aussie Rooster in 6th. Then we've got Enzo Jack, Wayne G in 8th, Harry Poppins in 9th. Then we've got Pete. Oh, just go back there. It looked like Harry Poppins was just about to make a move on Wayne G and Enzo Jack. He is creeping up. So Wayne G is in a martini sandwich at the minute as they all take a little bit too much of that track for my liking, really. I think it's very dangerous to gain that far out, but these guys obviously a lot quicker than I am, and they know what they're doing, but they really are stealing as much track as possible. So Harry Poppins is chasing Wayne G down. Wayne G's getting a bit of a tow from Enzo Jack just up ahead of him. He in turn is getting the tow from Aussie Rooster. So they are all still pretty close together. We've got Harry Poppins in 9th, but then there is a gap now opened up back to Pete. Pete in 10th. Ooh, excuse me. He's on his own at the minute. He's not under any great pressure. Phaser in 11th with Molepiece, DB and Max just behind him. Max, unfortunately, picking up that half a second there. So that's going to drop him just a little bit further down. And these four having their own little battle, really. Back up to the top, though, Scott. He is still maintaining that distance between himself and Viking, so he can just concentrate on putting in some decent lap times. Same with Viking, really. I think he just needs to concentrate on getting his lap times down, and he will catch up to the back of Scott. Souness in 3rd, keeping it nice and steady. Frowney now, well, has he got his composure back after whatever happened? We missed it, and apologies for that, but Frowney was battling Scott for the lead, and something's happened. He picked up a penalty and has now dropped down to 4th, but if he's gathered himself back up again and he can get on it and chase Souness down. Bazza in 5th, Aussie Rooster 6th, Enzo Jack 7th. Well, I don't know where to go because everybody is racing everybody. Enzo Jack just ahead of Wayne G, who is just ahead of Harry Poppins, so these three still fighting it out there for 7th, 8th and 9th. And it looks like Wayne G has gone to the inside. Is he having a look at the inside of Enzo Jack? Oh, he's just had second thoughts as they approach that turn 1 and Paddock Hill. Up the hill they go to Druids for the 8th time. Wayne G desperate to get past Enzo Jack. He knows he's got Harry Poppins on his backside. Wayne G hustling and bustling. He's trying to put the pressure on Enzo Jack. Enzo Jack coping with it at the minute, but it surely is only a matter of time. Wayne G is going left and right. He is desperate to look for a way by. As we come up through onto Cooper Straight, maybe this could be the opportunity he's been waiting for. Harry Poppins is sitting there as well, though, so Wayne G has got one eye on the mirror as well as one eye in front of him. Wayne G now has a quick look up the inside of Enzo Jack. Is he going to get it done? No, he's not. Harry Poppins sees an opportunity and he goes to go up the inside of Wayne G. And has he got it done? He has. Well, what a great move from Harry Poppins. Wayne G is fighting back, though. These two still side by side as we come up towards Sterling's. Wayne G now having to just drop behind Harry Poppins so that they can both get through that turn safely. They are through Sterling's. They are onto Clearways, this short straight section before reaching Clark Curve and the final turn. Wayne G now down to 9th. Harry Poppins, a fantastic move from him to just go into 8th, just behind his teammate Enzo Jack. Now well, we don't know about team orders or anything of the sort, but if Harry Poppins can hold Wayne G up, it will allow Enzo Jack just to get away a little bit further and bag some more valuable points for the team. But great racing from these guys so far. Pete down in 10th. He is on his own now. Phaser in 11th with Molepiece and Max. DB down in 14th. DB all on his own. He's just got to stick with it, get some track practice in. This is what I like to do, and I usually find myself at the back. Just concentrate on getting some decent laps in yourself, ready for race 2. So back up to the top then. Scott has opened up quite a decent lead now, back to Viking. Viking holding his own there in 2nd, and Souness in 3rd. So the top 3, no change really for the last few laps. Frowney up into 4th. He's picked up another half-second penalty, so he really is pushing these track limits. That's how much he wants it. That's how much he wants to catch up to the back of Souness. Oh, and it's always Bazza. I thought I saw somebody go a little bit sideways, and it was Bazza. As we head down towards Sterling's, Dingle Dell, Sheen Curve. Now, has he gone too far? He has. He just went too far, got the wheels on the grass, and well, there's not a lot he could do. He just had to sit there and wait for the car to stop spinning. He is back up and running. It's a good job the Ghost is on, as Harry Poppins has got no choice but to drive straight through him. But that has dropped Bazza down to 8th. Harry Poppins moved up to 7th, with Enzo Jack going 6th, and the dirt still on the tyres of Bazza. He's struggling to keep it on track. He needs to get them tyres clean. It's going to take him a good couple of turns, so he needs to be a little bit more cautious through turn 1 as well, otherwise he's going to end up drifting onto the gravel. Oh, it just manages to hold on to it. So another turn or 2 and those tyres should be cleaned and back up to race ready for Bazza. So that's unfortunately, he was up there in the top 4 or 5, wasn't he, but now finds himself down in 9th. So let's just have a look and see what's happening up at the top. Scott, Bazza's teammate, out in front looking comfortable. He's well, his last 3 laps have been 129, so he's been consistent. Viking, he's in the 130s. He's just broke the 129 on the last lap, lap 9. So Viking is getting quicker. Souness, same with him. He's got a 129.6. In fact, Souness has now got the fastest lap, which was lap 9, a 29.6. So he's going for it now. He's desperate to catch up to the back of Viking. He's not happy with 3rd. He wants 2nd. Frowney, things have calmed down for him now. He's in 4th, with Aussie Rooster in 5th. Then we've got quite a battle going on between teammates. It's Enzo Jack and Harry Poppins in the Martini teammate. They are teammates in the Martini liveries there. As I said, I don't know if there's any team orders, whether anything will come over the radio to tell Enzo Jack to let Harry Poppins through, or has Harry Poppins been told to be Enzo Jack's wingman and keep everybody off the back of him? Or they could have just been told, get on with it and race. Who knows? And Harry Poppins is definitely into the let's getting on board with Harry Poppins. He's definitely in the slipstream of Enzo Jack. As we get on to Cooper Straight and start on down the hill towards Surtees, and Harry Poppins, as I say, he is in the slipstream and he is getting closer to Enzo Jack. We can just see Aussie Rooster up ahead. So these two, well, they can't work together. They can't. There's no bump drafting allowed, which is a bit of a shame. But these two are definitely creeping up to the back of Aussie Rooster. If we look behind us, we can just see Wayne G a few car lengths away. So no real pressure for Harry Poppins. He can just concentrate on what's in front of him. And at the minute, it's his teammate who takes an awful lot of grass. And that is going to give him dirty tyres, which is going to compromise his turn here at turn 9, and it has. You can see he drifted very wide. That gave the opportunity for Harry Poppins. So he's now taken over of P6. Enzo Jack drops down to P7. Bit of a swap there between the two of them. Wayne G as well, that's allowed him to get a little bit closer as well. He's in 8th. Not like him really. We normally expect to see the likes of Wayne G and Harry Poppins up there in the top 5. But it just shows what a tough field this is in League 3. Oh, Wayne goes very, very deep into Graham Hill Bend. You don't want to be going that high on that bank and picking up too much grass. But Wayne survived it. Bazza down in 9th. Then we've got Pete Molepiece, Phaser in 12th, Max 13th, and then DB not really having a great first outing. A half-second penalty and finds himself down in 14th. The back up to race leader Scott, and he's still got that lead over Viking. And Viking just got well, he's a little bit of a gap to Souness. I think Souness is definitely catching. Let's just have a look at the time. So Viking, lap 11 was a 29.9 and Souness a 29.6, so 0.3 quicker was Souness, so he is getting closer to Viking. And as we just saw there, a little bit of lag kicking in for Viking. Now that's not really going to be putting Viking off, but it will certainly give Souness something to think about. It's nothing that Viking can do. It's not his fault. It's either the lobby or his internet or something to do with PD. It usually is. And you can see Viking struggling to get the car slowed down then. So Souness now right on to the back of Viking. Let's jump on board, shall we, with Souness, as we try and chase Viking down onto the Cooper Straight. This is his opportunity to get a little bit closer. I think you've got to be within sort of 8/10 of the car in front to pick up stream now. Unfortunately, we can't see the times because this is a replay, but you can definitely see Souness getting closer and closer to Viking. You can see Viking's car sort of drifting left and right. Now that is either lag or one of the wheels is loose. And if that's the case, he's going to need to pit to get it tightened up. But for now, he's still going, and Souness is just, well, he's just going about his business, isn't he? And it seems to be getting closer and closer every turn. Nothing behind at all, no pressure. Big gap back to Frowney now. So Souness, his full concentration is on the back of Viking's car as they approach turn 1, Paddock Hill. What a 14th time we've just gone across the line, start 14, and you see the lag kicking in there now. Souness he's just taking his time, isn't he? He thought about it, he did think about it. Now into Druids, this tight right hand hairpin. Oh wow, we're going to have to jump out of there. I don't know how Souness is coping with it, but I can't watch the back of Viking's car for much longer. So Souness looking to be making a move on Viking and move up into P2. It really is just a matter of time, I think. Unless Viking is drunk and he is just swaying from side to side and it's not lag at all, or even a loose wheel nut. It could just be that Viking has just decided he's going to have a few to drink. So as much as we want to stay with these guys, I'm just going to go down the order and see what's happening elsewhere. Frowney now all on his own. Aussie Rooster in 5th. He's he's got Harry Poppins in his mirror and Enzo Jack just behind him, but he's not under any real pressure at the minute, is Aussie Rooster. Harry Poppins doing everything he can to catch up. Let's just have a look at the times there. Aussie Rooster, his last, well, that's consistent. His last 4 laps have been 130s. Harry Poppins the same, 130s. So it really is coming down to tenths of seconds now. Lap 13 for Aussie was a 30.9. Harry Poppins was a 30.7, so 2/10 quicker is Harry Poppins, but we do only have 3 laps. Well, 3 laps, sorry. We do only have 3 laps to go, so if Harry Poppins wants to move up, he's going to have to start pushing a lot harder than this to take P5 away from Aussie. Enzo Jack is there in 7th, although he has got Wayne G all over the back of him and tucking underneath his rear wing. Now Enzo Jack has just got to keep it on the tarmac and facing the right way, but the pressure coming from Wayne G now. Jump on board with Enzo Jack, and if we have a look behind us, that is what he is seeing. So he is trying to look where he's going and concentrate on his own racing line, but he's also got to try and defend against Wayne G. We know how quick Wayne G is. let's see, I thought Wendy G, I was kind of thinking he might make a move there as we go on to Cooper Straight, but no, he is just tucked under the rear wing of Enzo Jack. Is he going to make a move now before we get to Surtees? No, he can't. He's just sitting there. He is running out of laps though. So if Wayne G's going to do something, he needs to do it pretty quickly. Bazza down in 9th, bit of a mixed race for him. Started well. A few mistakes kicked in and he found himself back down in 9th. And you can see the Wonder Nut sticker on the back there. Well, we'll wonder how big his nuts are, shall we, in race 2 to see whether he's going to push and get higher up the field. Wrong way. Pete in 10th. Just a steady outing for him, just to test the track. Same with Molepiece, Phaser, Max, and DB. They'll treat this as a bit of a practice session. DB just testing the grass. Yeah, that's okay. It's nice and dry. So back up to our race leader. He's on lap 16 of 17. So just this one and one more to go. Looking comfortable is Scott, as he has for most of this race, to be honest. Viking Daddy still in 2nd. Soonest, well, he was getting a bit closer, wasn't he, to Viking, but something's happened, and I still call him Viking Daddy. I am, aren't I? I'm going to have to get out of that habit. I do apologise, Viking. But Soonest in 3rd. Just dropped off the pace a bit now, so yeah, something's happened. His last lap was a 132. And Viking, well, he's been doing steady 129, so Viking is slightly quicker at the minute, so he's going to hold on to that P2. I'm not sure he's going to catch up with Scott, although Scott has slowed down. So Viking's doing 129s and Scott's in the 130s, so Scott, he's just taking his time. I think he knows he's got this race won. He's just trying not to make any silly mistakes as he crosses the line to take the final lap. Or to start the final lap, should I say. Same with Viking. Soonest in 3rd. Frowney then in 4th, just serving a penalty. We've got a penalty to serve. That's not going to alter his track position though. He's in 4th. Half second is not going to allow Aussie Rooster to catch up that kind of gap. So Aussie is in 5th. Harry Poppins, well, he's doing everything he can, isn't he, to get that P5. He's currently in 6th. Little bit of a gap open, but Wayne G has managed to get by Enzo Jack, and Enzo Jack now down to 8th with Bazza in 9th, then Pete, Molepiece, Max in 12th, then Phaser, and then DB. So back up to Scott, who is just coming around Surtees now. This race pretty much in the bag, as long as he can keep it on the grey stuff, he should be okay. Through Pilgrims, drop down towards Hawthorns on this final lap for Scott. Viking does look like he's getting closer, but he's just going to run out of time, unfortunately. But a fantastic race for these guys. We're just going to follow Scott now through. He's on to Clark Curve, the final turn, and then on to Brabham Straight and across the line to take the win. So the first race is won by Scott. Viking comes in 2nd. Soonest is going to take 3rd. So that's your podium for race 1 of this brand new season. Frowney across the line in 4th. He'll be pleased with that, I think. Aussie Rooster 5th with Harry Poppins not that far behind him in 6th. Wayne G takes 7th. Enzo Jack 8th. Bazza is going to come across the line in 9th as Pete comes around Clark Curve to see the checkered flag. Across the line in 10th for Pete. Molepiece will take 11th. His teammate Max 12th. Phaser across the line in 13th, and then DB will bring it home for 14th. Well, that was race 1 of 2 here at Brands Hatch in Kent. I hope you can join me for race 2, which will be coming up very shortly. I shall catch you all soon.